Hey Men's Journal, we're Aaron and Josh from Stuff and Whiskey.
Aaron is more of a social sipper. I'm more of the whiskey nerd. And over on our YouTube channel, we've tasted thousands of whiskeys completely blind to remove all the labels, the hype, and the bias to give you guys the most honest opinions possible. Pretty value conscious, budget conscious, and we use all that to inform what we're talking about today, which is the 5 bottles that pretty much every bourbon enthusiast could get by with only owning these 5. However, we're going to do a slight twist on it, and these are all going to be single barrels. And why are they going to be single barrels?
Because you love single barrels.
We love single barrels. I'm more of the whiskey nerd. Single barrels are definitely...
Yeah.
There's something in me that really likes the individual expression of a single barrel of whiskey. And we've been in plenty of rick houses before where we can taste 2 barrels with the exact same distillate distilled on the same day, same mash bill, put into the barrels, aged for the same amount of time. They sat right side by side, and you taste both of those, and they taste completely different.
Yeah.
You know, there's maybe 60 or 70% commonality in taste, but there's that other 30 or 40% is where the real magic starts to shine.
And I think that part of it is what makes whiskey so intriguing. Because, to your point, you can have things that are right next to each other on the same, their whole life. The barrels are next to each other on the same floor of the warehouse, and they taste completely different. And they're both probably really good, but they're different. And so that's where I like whiskey. It's a science going into the barrel, and then once it's in the barrel, it becomes an art because you never know what you're going to get.
What's going to happen, yeah. In this list, you're going to get 5 bottles that you could get by with only these, and they're all awesome.
Yep.
There's a lot of picks in here where people have gone and selected these barrels. However, there is a just standard shelf offering of every single one of these as well. First up is going to be 4 Roses single barrel. And they have updated this label since, but obviously we enjoyed this bottle quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, these are fantastic.
Yeah, I like the fact that 4 Roses doesn't shy away from a little spice. I like rye, so rye-forward whiskey is usually something I tend to lean toward.
Yeah, I mean, the higher rye in their recipes does tend to stand up pretty well to things like ice, if you're the type to put your whiskey over ice, or if you just want a more flavorful pour, it's very great for that. Their standard shelf offerings are 100 proof and about $40 to $50 in most markets. Fantastic value, and now they've started releasing beyond their standard OBSV recipe. Don't let all the 10 recipes be too daunting for you. Just grab a bottle, try it, see if you like it, and then if you do, go out and grab that next bottle.
Yeah.
Speaking of grabbing the next bottle, let's get into the next bottle.
Let's do it.
Which is going to be one of our personal favorites, and we don't think this distillery gets nearly enough credit, but it is New Riff single barrels.
Yeah. New Riff, whenever I taste a New Riff, I get major log cabin vibes. Not the maple syrup, but like the experience of being in a log cabin, and I love that.
Yeah, the best single barrels here pack a ton of flavor. They come through with a flavor that honestly belies their age statement. A lot of these are kind of in that 4 to 6 year range, and they're getting more age on their whiskey, so we may see that number climb a little bit. But for $60, and this is a craft distillery as well, it's hard to call them craft anymore because they're huge, but they're doing such a good job. Huge fans of New Riff. Their single barrels especially. So much variety in them. You can't go wrong. Next up is going to be one of our personal favorite distilleries out there because we are such huge rare breed fans. This is going to be Russell's Reserve single barrels.
And this comes from the Wild Turkey Distillery, if
Yes.
you're not familiar with what distilleries own what brands. Because I wasn't, and I'm just now putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and we've had a YouTube channel for almost 5 years. So if you don't know, it's okay.
Yeah, I remember a day and age when I would hear people talk about mash bills and I would just tune out.
Yeah.
It's just too much to keep up with. But Russell's is great. We love rare breed. Wild Turkey has such a classic Kentucky bourbon flavor profile. And what's cool about these is if you've tried rare breed, these almost take the Wild Turkey rare breed profile and then they just amplify certain elements of it. And they're a little bit older than rare breed, so you're getting a little bit more oak as well. But yeah, I mean, you can pick these up. This one's from a restaurant in the Louisville area. This one is a barrel that we actually picked, Stuff and Whiskey, that we picked for our YouTube channel and our audience there. But you can get fantastic ones of these. And they also just have a regular shelf offering of this, just like all these bottles. That is also a fantastic value. So somewhere between $60 to $80 in most markets. for such a unique experience and such a classic, quintessential Kentucky
Yep.
bourbon. You really can't go wrong. 110 proof too, so it's kind of the perfect proof point in our minds
Yeah.
for easy enough drinking, but still flavorful enough to enjoy it.
Won't blow your face off, but it also isn't going to just sneak on by without notice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and get into some blow your face off whiskeys.
Okay. Speaking of.
With Knob Creek Single Barrel. Again, this is a selection, happens to be Barrels for Hope. This is a charity barrel, but these right here at 120 proof and 9 years of age for about $60 is maybe the highest proof point and age statement for the lowest price that you can possibly get.
Yeah, that's if high age is something that's important to you, that's a really good value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Beam does that so well. These, again, classic Kentucky bourbon. The 120 proof point on these brings so much flavor. And if you've ever had, I remember back in the day, I used to always get old fashions made with Knob Creek. You make one of those with 120 proof and buckle up, Buttercup. You're in for a ride. Like, this stuff is very, very good. I'm a huge Knob Creek fan, even though I don't love Jim Beam. And can't say enough good about these. Always perform very well in blind tastings that we do also.
Do you want to elaborate on what you mean when you say you don't love Jim Beam? Like, you don't like a lot of their products, or what do you mean?
The nutty profile.
Gotcha. But you do like Knob Creek.
I do.
Okay.
I do. And last up, and maybe a little bit controversial here, is going to be Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof. Mm-hmm. And this is on a bourbon list.
Yes, because it is technically bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
It just has an extra step that also makes it Tennessee whiskey.
Right.
But Tennessee whiskey, by definition, is also bourbon.
Yes.
Legally.
Yeah. In fact, the government almost made them call it bourbon, and they lobbied, probably, well, we won't speculate how they did that, but somehow they pulled it off to let the government make Tennessee whiskey a classification. So, yes, it is Tennessee whiskey, but it is also bourbon. They say bourbon by nature, Tennessee whiskey by choice.
Yes.
Is what they say at Jack Daniels.
That's what they say at Jack, yeah.
This stuff right here is crazy good value. I mean, you're going to get some of these in the mid 120 proof to 130 plus proof range. I know that can seem very high, but this stuff absolutely is amazing on ice. Seems to bring out even more flavor somehow, or at least different flavors.
Or with a few drops of water, I found.
Mm-hmm.
Just adding that just opens up the flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are single barrels, some of them can be spicier than others. But overall, I have found that they don't tend to be hot. I mean, they are 100 and whatever proof, but they're not hot for hot's sake. I think they have a lot of flavor that carries with the heat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense at all?
And you're going to get, it does. And you're going to get like banana pudding in some of these. You'll get kind of a vanilla wafers type of thing going on. Heavy vanilla in some of these barrels. Really nice sweet oak. Sometimes you get that barrel spice that is so nice. Just absolutely adore this product. For about $70 to $80 in most markets. Some markets even as little as $65 or less. Mm-hmm. The value on this for the proof point and the quality of whiskey you're getting is almost unrivaled, except maybe by the Knob Creek that we just mentioned prior to this. But if you're a bourbon drinker and you haven't tried this yet, you owe it to yourself to try some Jack Daniels, specifically this bottle. It's not like old
barrel proof.
Yeah, it's not like old number 7. We're working with a much higher quality of whiskey here.
It's not like Gentleman's Jack. It's a cut above both of those.
It is. So, anyways, if you thought this was a cut above, you can head over to YouTube and check our channel out over there at Stuff and Whiskey. But honestly, we have way more than 5 bottles in our house. But if you forced me as a dyed-in-the-wool 2 decades plus whiskey nerd, whiskey fan, if you made me go down to 5 bottles, I could get by with just these 5.
I would add rare breed, personally speaking.
Well, always.
But that's just me.
That's how. And then I would add, and then you would, and then that's how we get to 300 plus bottles like we have. So.
It is what it is.
All right. Ms. Journal, thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Cheers. Be good to each other.
Bye.